doctor at this health and fitness place told me one thing. She looked at me very seriously, and, you know, I'm not getting any younger, and I was nervous for a minute, and she said, "Did you know that you're allergic to wheat?" And I looked at her and said, "But I'm a wheat farmer!" I'm allergic to wheat, and I thought, oh, well, I can't harvest wheat anymore. I'm hanging up my sickle. Because don't friends call you in the fall and go, "We're harvesting this weekend, you never miss." I can't. I'm allergic. Then I thought, wait a second, you make flour out of wheat. Perhaps I should inquire further. I said, "What does this whole wheat thing mean to me, pray tell?" She said, "Well, do you eat a lot of gluten?" I don't know what gluten is, but I would say yes. I'm fairly certain I'm mostly gluten. And she said, "Well, you should avoid anything with gluten in it." I said, "Okay, thank you," and started to leave the room, and I said, "What has gluten in it?" You know what has gluten in it? Everything! Every reason to wake up in the morning!
Welcome to the news. It must be Monday. And what you just heard there is a clip of John Pinette's, one of John Pinette's famous stand-ups. It was the topic of gluten-free, which is pretty badass. Unfortunately, if you haven't heard, which I'm sure you've heard, he's passed on at the age of 50. It does bother me because he was a very good comic, and the wrong people keep dying. Rolling Stones are still with us. I don't understand it. But he had a lot of issues. I do know he was in rehab for some type of pain pill addiction issue, and he also had liver and heart disease. So he did die of natural causes, but I mean, he was such a... I still have all his DVDs and everything. He was a very funny guy. So, and for that, the droids you are looking for, salute you, Mr. Pinette, and we hope you rest in peace. I didn't know him like everyone else did. Everyone knew him as because of the infamous Seinfeld episode, but I knew him mainly because of his stand-up work. And plus, he was in Punisher. A lot of people don't know that, but he was in the actual Punisher with Tom Jane. He was pretty funny in that as well. So, tip your hat at this guy. He was quite a man. Not the only death, unfortunately. Legendary comic Mickey Rooney died too. What's this world coming to? But died at an age of 93, so you can't really complain about that. And also the creator of the Band-Aid's daughter, Peach, died too. I don't know what to tell you about that one, but I'm gonna guess she was in the wrong castle when Mario tried finding her. That's right. We actually have a top 10 list, or, hold on, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 list, I take it back, 7, of who can play Wolverine once Hugh Jackman steps down. Well, I mean, is he going to? That's, I know he's not, because I know he's still got Age of Apocalypse and then his own little Wolverine little movie there. Gotta bleed this franchise dry. Gotta put those kids through college. But, I mean, people wouldn't have thought of Hugh Jackman being Wolverine 14 years ago, because he wasn't really known yet. He was starting to get known, but everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy? Then he'd be Russell Crowe, and everyone's like, oh, this guy's a big deal. But it is inevitable. He recently was quoted as saying, "It's inevitable. Anyone who thinks they're indispensable in the business is fooling themselves, but I feel unbelievably blessed out of the part and never thought in a million years I'd get to play him 7 times. Every day I walk on the set with the claws and the hair, and I thank my lucky stars." Well, you better. That's all I have to say. And I'm sure, by the way, that it won't always be my decision to always be here, but at some point they're going to say, it's done. It's time. You know what? He's right. I think that There's only so much you can bleed a character dry for. That can only be someone for so long. Like, look at Mark Hamill. He was the Joker in the animated series and that video games for so long that now he just wants nothing to do with it. I'm not going to quote him and say it was no longer fun, but I mean, at the same time, you can only do something so many times. Christian Bale is probably one of the best Batmans. Yeah, I know it's debatable with a lot of people, but the most believable Batman. Just like how Heath Ledger is not the best Joker of all time, but he is the most believable Joker. Ooh, I'm going to be pissing off a lot of fan bases. So here's your top 7 that they really think they could replace.
Tom Hardy.
Bane. I like Tom Hardy. He plays a lot of good roles, ranging from... I remember when he was a scrawny kid in that Star Trek movie, I think... What was it called? Was it Nemesis? I think it was Nemesis. And then he bulked up and he just became this massive person. Like, it bothers me. And he's been on a roll. We can't say that he hasn't. Like, he's Bane. He's made This Means War. He's Mad Max. He's done a lot of independent films that are really good. And he was in my favorite movie, Warrior, which was a MMA-inspired movie. Yeah. And then the next person is... person that was the cast across from him in Warrior, which was
Joel Edgerton.
Why not? He's got nothing going on right now. I think he was in Zero Dark 30 for a whole 10 minutes. But why wouldn't he fit the part? It'd be different for him, but there's too many issues that will arise from this list. I already know. Because the next issue is going to be
Henry Cavill, Superman.
Bad idea. That is a complete bad idea in my opinion. Only because he is Superman. And we can't do that. And I don't want him as Wolverine. That'd be kind of stupid. Wolverine, the reason why Hugh Jackman took a lot of shit is because Wolverine isn't really a tall person, whereas Hugh Jackman is. And Henry Cavill is a very large man. So, not sold. Not sold at all.
Luke Evans,
who was recently in the Fast and the Furious franchise. No. He cannot play Wolverine. I'm physically looking at a picture of him. No.
Sam Worthington.
He is a good actor, but he's been in a lot of films that make money. I say, when I mean by make money, I mean they break even and then scrape a couple dollars on the top. Like, it's not anything that you'd go out of your way and say, absolutely. So, no.
Gerard Butler.
Why not? Gerard Butler? If he can get back to his size that he was in the 300, I would be sold. I can see him doing it. You're going to have the issue of the accent, though. Like, he never really lost it. Like, he did a great job in Gamer and 300, but it's still there. But he would probably be in the top 3 of my picks.
Charles Measure.
He also looks a bit older, but, I mean, he was known for his roles on V and Desperate Housewife and a bunch of other things. Ooh. I don't know him that much. I know of him, but I don't know him that much. I guess I want to live in the world of denial that I just don't want another Wolverine right now. And when the X-Men franchise ends in 2 movies, maybe it's time to hang up the hat. Like, I mean, look at Avengers. They're already plotting so many goddamn fucking movies that they're going to keep running for 15, 20 years. They got Ant-Man, you got Ultron, and then you have all the different sides. Like, I mean... No wonder why Robert Downey Jr. wants out now. Do you blame him? He's going to be Iron Man to the day he dies. He's going to have to find his way out now. Or we're all going to end up like Tobey Maguire and Seabiscuit. You hear that? Do you hear that? That is the sound of every Star Wars geek's orgasm. That's right, Peter Mayhew will be replaying his role as Chewbacca in Star Wars Episode 7. I'm not going to say much more than that, but I can tell you, like everyone else in the Star Wars community, we're very happy. Welcome back, Peter. There is days that I wish I was rich. Wait a minute. I think that's everybody. I think everybody wishes that they were rich too. So rich that Robert Downey Jr. will come to your birthday party. I think that'd be kind of badass. But I am going to tip my hat at Robert Downey Jr. for his own birthday. Well, he had a Captain America birthday. he had a bunch of kids over to watch the new Captain America movie on April the 4th. And he put up a lot of photos on his personal Facebook and Twitter account. And he also snuck over to Jamie Foxx's house and dropped off some Iron Man toys. How awesome is that? Man, I tell you, and I'm sure everyone agrees with this, is that that's pretty fucking badass that people, he hangs out with kids and tries, do everything humanly possible to make sure everyone has a good time. So that's it for this week. I know, a little bit of a boring news week, mostly covered in death, but, that's life, right? So we'll be back this weekend for the Droids You Are Looking For podcast. We haven't really decided what the topics are going to be. Well, things have been kind of tough for us, I'm sure, if you are a listener of our podcast weekly or daily or whatever you do. You do understand that we're going a little bit through some hard times right now due to the new Facebook change, and we all know how much Zuckerberg cares. So I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but it's funny. There will be a post, there will be a podcast of my rant, no word of a lie, unscripted, unedited, of me ranting while driving home from, I think I was at a Monster Jam on the previous weekend, and I was so pissed off, I actually recorded myself on my phone, on my S4, ranting about that, and the new podcast policy, lawsuit that's ongoing right now. If you heard the last podcast, episode 23, a tabletop Facebook podcast insight, you would have heard my mini rant. The reason why I say mini rant is because really on my phone, I was pretty pissed off. So I will try and get that up this week. If not, I'll probably air it whenever I have a chance. But stay tuned. I also know that Mr. Baker is currently working on an interview with a fellow cosplayer, local cosplayer. So we look forward to hearing from that as well. And we'll be back on Sunday with the Droids You Are Looking For podcast, episode 24. So, as usual, my friends.
Barbaric!